I used to work at a 24-hour McDonald's during my first year of college, right in the town where I grew up. I was 18 at the time, and I'm still a petite girl. Our store owners were greedy scumbags, so for our large city, we were the only McD's staying open for Christmas, so I switched around on the schedule that I'd come in after family stuff on Christmas Eve, and be home in the morning to open presents and then sleep. Somewhere around midnight, a mid-20s man came in. He was slightly overweight, tall. His clothes kind of fit in an awkward way that's hard to describe. Like he wore the same things every day and put zero thought into his appearance. The way his shirt was tucked in, the way his belt bunched his pants, that his pants were a bit too short and showed too much ankle. His beard was patchy and uneven and grew down his neck, and you might wonder why I have such a thorough description of him, because he stayed in the dining room for at least 2 hours within sight of the counter, and almost every time I checked he was staring at me. He would come back to the counter at least twice or more to order additional small items off the value menu. After the second time I caught him staring again, and he gave me a creepy smile while he still had food in his mouth. I'm bad at hiding my facial expressions, and I'm sure I wrinkled up in a disgusting face and turned away to go to the back. I told the one guy on our skeleton crew that night that some lingering dude was creeping me out and asked him to switch with me on the front. It was a pretty dead night, so it really didn't matter where we were stationed, so he switched with me. After a bit in the back, it was normally the time that night shift would clean the customer areas for a jump on the next day before morning rush started. My coworker said the dude was still out there, so I asked to clean the bathrooms instead, while he wiped down the tables, and then we'd tackle the floor together, so it was quick. I started on the men's bathroom since the only guy in the place was currently at his table. But just to be sure, of course, I knocked on the door first, then called out to anyone inside that it was time for cleaning. It's not a glamorous job to clean a bathroom, but it had been a quiet night, so it wasn't that bad. Then I did the same knock to check to start cleaning the women's bathroom. It was a bit of a maneuver both times to bring in the mop bucket and the tote with the cleaning supplies, so I was a bit distracted when I came in and went to place the tote on the sink counter, which is probably why I didn't notice the shadow in the stall closet to the sink. I was pulling items out of the tote right away when I kind of noticed movement in the mirror behind me and looked up to see creepy guy almost fully behind me, only seconds before his hand closed on my arm. He was grinning in a way that made me feel sick right away. He pulled my upper arm in a way that made me turn around towards him, and he must have seen my face screw up as I took a deep breath because he started to try and cover my mouth with his other hand, saying something like, No, it's okay. I think you're pretty." Not sure exactly what he was saying because I was already screaming at the top of my lungs and turning my mouth and body away from him as much as I could. With my free arm, I started whacking him with the first thing my fingers touched, which happened to be a bottle of glass cleaner. It seemed like it only took seconds for my male coworker to burst in the door. He took one look at the man in the bathroom and started screaming at him too, telling him he can't be in there, calling him a sicko, trash, scumbag, among other more colorful words. The creeper dashed for the door, trying to squeeze by my coworker, who stayed with me down the short hallway, continuing to yell at him, and kept it up till Creeper was all the way out the door, and a minute later, a car sped out of the parking lot. We called the cops. Statements were taken, managers contacted. I went home early and quit soon after, as I was always scared he'd show up again, or try to grab me on my way to my car, or even follow me home. So, Christmas McCreep, let's not meet again.